Expo 86 is open for business, and it's wonderful. Just a feast of technology, entertainment, food, and fun.
And if the first few days are any indication, it's destined to be a huge success. Hi, I'm Wayne Cousins.
And I'm Ramona. Can you believe it? We're here and it's happening all around us.
Well, we've waited a long time for this, and Vancouver is definitely ready for Expo 86.
The thing that amazes me is that it's packed with everything. Restaurants, pavilions, rides, and some very special attractions.
Today on World Stage, we begin our 5.5-month tour of this spectacular site.
We'll visit the Japan Pavilion, a country in miniature, and we'll meet the legendary Thor Heyerdahl.
We'll tour the Aviation Plaza, sample some Expo entertainment, and take some rides too, so hang on to your hat.
First up, opening day, Friday, May 2nd. It was truly a royal event in every way, and Bill Dobson was part of it.
Nobody questioned it for a moment. Charles and Diana are the stars of the day. With very little ceremony, Prime Minister and Mrs. Mulrooney and the Prince and Princess cut the ribbon, then take a stroll through the Canada Pavilion. Prince Charles seems fascinated with the high star hovering machine. And the video wall also takes a studied look. And all the time, the world is looking in. There are 10 cameras at the Canada Pavilion. It's later in the day now, and this must be one of the more peaceful moments as the royal couple is taken for a cruise up Falls Creek to see the Expo site without the crowds pressing in. But the crowds are there when they leave the ship, and then they begin a motorcade on the east end of Expo. I've joined the thousands of people who've lined the route here along the first motorcade through the Expo site. Everybody hoping for just a brief glimpse, and that's about all you get in the short time it takes to pass one point.
I was on Diana's side, Princess Diana's side.
Oh.
So I saw her.
You didn't see her?
Yeah.
What, did you see both or just one?
I just saw Princess Diana too. It's like, we were just on her side.
Was it worth it?
Yeah, I think so. It was kind of neat.
Ready to dissolve 6, dissolve 6.
The motorcade ends at BC Place Stadium, where we find another mobile crew and 9 cameras to catch the excitement.
So, ladies and gentlemen, together with my wife, we have the greatest pleasure in declaring Expo 86 officially open.
This is the moment we've been waiting for. I'm in the crowd at the Plaza of Nations, and I've lost my cameraman, but I'm still wired for sound. I hope he hears me and is focusing his camera on the balcony. The crowd around me is going wild. They're whistling, cheering, and applauding. It's one of those magic moments of a royal visit. The next stop, the Kodak Pacific Bowl. And they're about to see a sample of the RCMP musical ride. I haven't been able to get there on foot, but the rest of the world is watching through the magic of television. I don't know how they do it. After a full day of walks, rides, openings, and concerts, the Prince and Princess of Wales still look fresh. And I'm bushed. For World Stage 86, I'm Bill Dobson.
One of the fun parts about any fair is the rides. But when it's a World's Fair, the rides come bigger, better, and more thrilling than ever. And that's certainly true at Expo 86. rides at Expo that are thrilling and fun. But if you want something that's not quite so violent, yet still really exciting, this one's for you.
The Cariboo Log Ride is for the whole family and for the less adventurous like me. The only consequence is that you're guaranteed to get a little wet. Ready, partner?
Ready.
Put your legs in here.
Good stuff.
Okay, bye. Okay. Well, so far this is just fine. Oh my gosh. Oh, gee. Oh. Is there another dip? Oh. Now that was a splash. Oh, get the blow dryer out. Oh, towels. We need towels.
I think you should wring yourself out, Ramona. There, that'll make you feel better. Good as new.
Thanks.
So whether you like to scream, to hang upside down, to ride a parachute, or just to get wet, Expo's got it for you. And if you don't like any of those, here's a ride that's sure to please. Not thrilling, but still very popular. On the Ride Speed at Expo, I'm Ramona Marr.
Still ahead on World Stage, a flight through the Air Plaza. Just pick your favorite airplane and a visit to Japan in miniature.
Sure, this is a comic book, but I got it at the most unlikely place, the Northwest Territories Pavilion at Expo. Artist Nick Burns, a resident of the far north, wrote the comic book in 3 parts. The first is a scary story based on the legends and ancient beliefs of the northern natives. The second is a present-day adventure of man against the wilderness, and the third is kind of a science fiction story about a northern adventure in the future. Seems like the kind of material for the Saturday morning TV cartoons. Nick Burns is looking into it.
If you like airplanes, you'll love the Air Plaza here at Expo. It's an incredible assortment of everything that flies, and it's fun to just wander through it, which is exactly what Cam Cathcart is doing right now.
It's less than 60 years since passenger air service began in North America. Today, the Boeing 747, the jumbo jet, is the biggest passenger plane flying. It seems that the speed of aircraft development is matched by the speed of the aircraft themselves. It's been a long but exciting journey. So let's take a look. The Air Plaza at Expo 86 has been set up to celebrate man's ability to prove that humans can fly. From a distance, the Aviation Plaza is enticing. From the ground, it needs concentration. Visitors are put to the test to identify what's above, but no matter, it's fun, and there are some familiar aircraft to contemplate. Because Expo 86 is a transportation fair, people like Ed Zaleski of the Canadian Museum of Flight are front and center.
There's a real resurgence to nostalgia, to preserving our past heritage, and this is what we're concerned with.
In fact, thanks to Mr. Zaleski's group, Expo visitors are able to enjoy a rare rebuilt Norseman close up.
That was owned by Austin Airways, which is the oldest airline in Canada. The Norseman basically was, you could say, the small equivalent of a DC-3 and the forerunner of the Beaver and the Otter. It was known worldwide. It was used throughout Scandinavia, Europe, South America, all over. The Norseman was the accepted type.
Also on display is the gull-winged Lysander, first built 50 years ago.
The Lysander was picked because it has wood construction, steel tube, aluminum tubing. It has sheet metal like aluminum covering. It has all types of construction. This is why they asked for the Lysander, and we were very pleased to be able to supply it to them. The clear Tedlar plastic coating on it is there basically to keep the birds and the weather out, and it also gives it its shape so that people can see what the airplane looks like, and it's given a very good effect. We've had a lot of positive comment on that.
Contrasting with the Boeing jumbo jet is the Boeing 80A, used on the main American routes by United Airlines back in 1930. It carried 12 passengers. As well as the displays, volunteers from the Museum of Flight are carefully restoring a vintage stamp airplane. The Expo 86 Aviation Plaza. Linger a while and enjoy. For World Stage 86, I'm Cam Cathcart.
There are 54 national pavilions here at Expo 86 in Vancouver. They vary from thoughtful displays of a country's historic treasures to fantastic multimedia presentations that will knock your socks off. We needed a place to start, so we picked Japan.
The intricate artistry of these Japanese dolls depicts generations of a culture which still thrives today. One can't help but be fascinated by the beauty and simplicity of Japanese art. The contradiction most striking is that the Japanese are also recognized as leaders in technology. These cars of the future are two prototypes of what we've come to expect from a nation paving the way to tomorrow. People can access information about Japan using video terminals located in the information corner of the pavilion.
In the northeast of Japan, the islands of Honshu and Hokkaido are separated by the Tsugami Straits.
Catherine Wells, Public Relations Officer of the Japan Pavilion, tells us what she hopes visitors will experience.
I'd like them to get a feeling for what it is to live in Japan, and the crowding there, and the rush hours that people have to cope with every single day, and the smallness of the homes, and the pinching that there is in living space and lifestyle there compared to what we have here. I think one of the things that will be most noticeable here is the theme, Small is Beautiful.
In the audio-visual hall, you'll see a film called The Pulse of Change. The presentation shows two children taking us on a journey through the ages. The most remarkable display is a working scale model of Japan's complex transportation network. As the sun rises on a bustling city, morning commuters speed along a highway system that looks like a road race set kids only dream of. Trains are the major people movers of Japan, and there are dozens in this huge model. Computers control traffic at intersections, and the trains go from city to city. Gondolas carry skiers to mountain summits. How did you think the Japan Pavilion?
Super. I'm a train collector. Came all the way from Florida to see their trains there.
So you're really impressed with the model?
Yeah.
You could go back, I would say, 2 or 3, 4 times to see it.
The whole scaled down model of the whole thing is just exceptional.
All the electronic system.
Samurai suit.
What was the best part?
The models, I think, was.
Fairgoers so far have enjoyed it. A look here will give you an impression of what the Japanese have overcome, and it will certainly be a hit with the kids. For World Stage 86, I'm Wayne Cousins.
magic about the name Thor Heyerdahl. His fabled Kon-Tiki expedition across the Pacific on a raft captured the imagination of the whole world. Well, he's here in Vancouver for an Expo symposium, and Judy Piercy was lucky enough to talk with him.
I met Mr. Heyerdahl in what better place than the Norwegian Great Explorers Pavilion. He lived in British Columbia in 1939, getting here by a rather circuitous route.
Although I was a young man, I spent 3.5 years studying the Polynesian culture and the botanical plants and elements in the Polynesian culture. And I came to the conclusion that the only place they could reach Polynesia from was this coast, where the Indians had these big canoes, which were precisely like those of Polynesia, particularly the Maori canoe of New Zealand. The same totem poles, the same stone tools, and even the physical type was strikingly similar.
But there were some scientists that were not pleased with you.
Oh, yes, certainly. I mean, that was, I stepped on everybody's toes at the time.
All this was a prelude to the balsa wood raft. In 1947, Heyerdahl and his crew, following the drawings and descriptions laid out by the Spanish conquistadors, built the Kon-Tiki.
The Indians of South America had only balsa rafts, and everybody said they will sink after 2 weeks, absorb water and sink. So I had to build one to show that they were wrong and I was right.
And prove them wrong he did. Now, you would think Thor Heyerdahl would be a regular seafaring type. After all Norwegians are Vikings.
I would never have believed that I should be fond of the ocean, because as a boy, although I grew up on the Oslo fjord, I hated the sea, and I was dead scared of the water. The despair of my father was that he couldn't make me swim.
But he grew to love the ocean, as he does all aspects of nature, and built 3 other craft. Ra 1 and 2, and the Tigris. But not only the ocean currents and man's use of them fascinate him. There are archaeological sites like Easter Island and the mystery of the stone men that walk. These pictures were taken recently by our World Stage 86 crew in Czechoslovakia.
We made an experiment, and we found out that, amazingly enough, they were walked, but with the help of ropes, in a standing position. They were not proud. Last time I was there, we used 180 men. We needed 15 men to walk a 10-ton statue, just by tilting it the way you would move a fridge.
Heyerdahl is still immersed with unraveling the archaeological mysteries of Easter Island. But what about more Kon-Tikis or Ras?
I wouldn't like to go on a raft just for the trip. Well, I would if I need a vacation, because you get away from telephone and mail and everything.
Not to mention nosy interviewers. And after all, he has more than proven himself to doubting scientists by demonstrating possible migration patterns of early man with his balsa wood, papyrus, and reed boats.
So unless you give me another challenge with another type of boat, I think I'll continue with archaeology.
Norway is the only country to have 2 separate pavilions on this expo site. One houses the restaurant and modern technology for the practical types. The other one, behind me, the great Norwegian explorers, is for the dreamer and adventurer in all of us. For World Stage 86, I'm Judy Piercy.
Still to come on World Stage, Expo's got entertainment coming out its ears, and there's something for everyone.
Before the new $5 bills fill your wallet, take a look at the back of the old one. There's a picture of a BC fishing boat. That very same boat is at the Marine Plaza of Expo. The BCP 45 is all spruced up. It was built in 1927. The picture for the bill was taken in 1958, and the crew of that year is on hand to bring the vessel from Vancouver Harbor to Falls Creek. It'll be there till June, when it's back to the fishing grounds for more salmon. Can I have my $5 back? Oh, you loaned it to me. Sorry.
If you've come to Expo to be entertained, you're on a winner. There'll be 14,000 separate performances during the fair, from Bob Hope to Bryan Adams, from street clowns to grand opera. Ramona checked out some of the entertainment during opening week.
Find now, you've probably heard about some of the big names that are performing at Expo, but there are also plenty of less high-profile acts to dazzle you. We're going to sample just a few, and we begin at the folklife area.
Susie Jack, Pop Tug, dinner, Holly's wood. The runs are short and the coffee's good.
One popular group that's sure to give audiences a taste of Canadiana is Stringband. The group has been around for years, collecting and writing songs about this country from the Maritimes to the West Coast.
35 years from a trooper down to Flattery, waiting for the tide to turn, waiting for the tide to turn.
Still in the folklife area, at the Big House, you might catch the children of Takaya reviving the traditions of the Coast Salish people. Over at the Xerox International Theater, the Pongsang masked dance drama troupe from Korea shows us a tradition of another sort. You don't have to go to a theater to be entertained. Many pavilions have brought their own performers. These are the Rinkbinders at the Yukon Pavilion. With 100 street performers on site each day, you'll likely bump into a few of them. There's Fred Anderson the juggler, Pepper the acrobatic clown, and computer musicians like Music in Motion. Here at the Canada Pavilion, entertainment takes on a most unusual form. This is Voce Vida, one of the many promenades strolling the Canada Pavilion 7 days a week. The promenades may look a bit eerie, but they really are works of art. A more familiar face to kids is that of Al Simmons, the man they call the human jukebox. And for kids of all ages, there's nothing like a circus. Le Cirque du Soleil from Quebec has got everything, and so does Expo. Now that's entertainment.
So here it is, Expo 86 as it was meant to be, full of people, color, and excitement. This is the payoff, the culmination of 8 years of planning and dreaming. Expo 86 is open to the world. Well, gang, what's the verdict? Bill?
Well, I've been sampling the food and the pavilions and the people's opinions for the last 2 days. I think it's great.
I think it's great too, Bill. As a matter of fact, at any other place, the word transportation would be very dull. Here, it's innovative, it's eclectic, it's exciting.
Even if it means sore feet. One of the things I've noticed, though, that they're really trying to keep the site clean. They're always sweeping up, which is neat.
Well, as you look around the site, you can't help but be impressed with what you see. In fact, there's a little bit of emotion involved. As a Vancouverite and a Canadian, I feel very proud of all this.
I think we all are. We're on the world stage, front and center, for perhaps the very first time ever. And I think we're doing it well.
Next week on World Stage 86, lots more Expo, from the priceless treasures of Peru to the delicious foods of Czechoslovakia. We'll also visit California.
We'll take a trip with Air Canada at their pavilion, and you're all invited. For World Stage 86, I'm Wayne Cousins.
And I'm Ramona Marr. See you at Expo.
This is CBC.